All right. Oh, it's been streaming. I didn't need to do that. Anyway. All right. So now we're going to set up virtual machines that I talked about before. These are really important. All the machines you use on the internet are all virtual machines, all the web servers and everything else. Running them locally on a guest operating system like Windows or the Mac is actually not really that important in the grand scheme of things. The servers run enterprise programs like ESXi, VMware ESXi, or Hyper-V. To run it in the cloud. Running it locally, virtual machines, is mainly good for pen testers and students because you run multiple operating systems to test things. It's not something you would do for normal work. You just use the one operating system built in the machine. But it's very useful for people that are learning and pen testers. You have to use a lot of different machines. And in particular, Kali is the one that pen testers use in America mostly, although some people are switching to Parrot. I think in Europe, but Kali is the standard for pen testing, and all it is a Linux distribution that has about 100 or 200 tools already installed for hacking. So a whole bunch of attack things are already built into it. So I used it for years. One problem with Kali is that they're sloppy about updating it. They update it 2 or 4 times a year, and they keep breaking the old tools by changing things. So I got irritated when I write instructions. After a while, they quit working. So I switched, and also when you go to the cloud, if you use like Google Cloud or Amazon, they typically won't let you use Kali. They just give you a plain operating system like Debian, and I learned I can just take Debian and install the tool I want to get the job done. But anyway, Kali is the standard, so a lot of people use it. So to set up a Kali virtual machine, there's 2 steps. First, you need to have a hypervisor. This is software on your machine that will emulate hardware. And so if you're Windows, you use VMware Workstation, and if you're using a Mac, you use VMware Fusion. If you don't like VMware, you can use the pre-product VirtualBox. It is a little more difficult to use because the networking is strange. And if you make any minor errors in your virtual machine, it will refuse to start with a confusing error message. So VMware is easier, but some people prefer VirtualBox. And if you're really cool, you use QEMU, which is the Linux open source one. It's very hard to use, but more powerful. But for most people, VMware is the sweet spot. And the point of this is, I'll start mine. What you do is you set up a virtual machine after you have the hypervisor software. And a virtual machine is like, I have a Debian machine here. And if I go to the Finder, you can see what a virtual machine is. A virtual machine is just a set of files on your local machine, just like a Word document. These files are all the pieces you need to make the machine. So in here, if I show package contents, this is a virtual machine. You have the RAM in an NVRAM file. These are the virtual hard disk files. And it pretends to have hardware. It will emulate hardware, which can be different than your physical hardware. All right. And so that's all the virtual machine is, just a bunch of files. You can just copy them and move them around. And when you use Kali, the easiest way to do it is to go to Kali's website and download a pre-built virtual machine. They've got them all ready to go. It's just a zip file, and when you unzip it, you have the whole virtual machine. You don't have to install anything. That's the easiest way to get it. And you'll see them here. Now, one thing to be aware of is, of course, that there's different versions for different hypervisors. Here's VMware VirtualBox and Hyper-V, the main hypervisors. And even if you do that, then you have to know what kind of processor you're using. These are going to, I guess, be Intel, and somewhere they have the ARM versions. If you've got a Mac M1, you've got an ARM, and you need the ARM version. Anyway, so you can just download a pre-built virtual machine and run it. And when you do, if I run this, for example, it's going to boot up. Now, this is the console. Oh, and it's booting to an install screen, which is pretty weird. I've got my machine in some strange state. I'm going to power it off. And I'll go to the machine I built yesterday, which is here. Okay, that one's all installed and ready. Right, this is the boot up screen for Debian Linux. It's a grub boot up, so it's going to boot up. Now the console is mostly intended just to see the status of the server. You can use it, but this is a really inconvenient way to use a machine. This is a mistake a lot of students do. They get a console and they try to work in here. The problem is, this is a really primitive interface. It doesn't even let you scroll back. You can't even copy and paste. So it's very frustrating, and especially beginners, they mistype commands and get in trouble. So the only thing I ever do here is I log in to get the IP address. So I'll put in my username and password here. Oh, that's right, that's the wrong password. I made this machine yesterday. And used a different password than usual. Now once I'm in, I can execute IPA. You see how hard it is to see anything. That's why this thing is not much fun to use, the console. But I get my IP address, 192.168.121.193. And then the way to control your machine, which is a lot better, is to use SSH. So you do SSH, the username is Debbie on this machine, and now I need that IP address, which was 192.168.121.192. I think 193. Yep, there we are. And now I can put in my password. This is a much better way to control your virtual machine because you can, let me try to get this spelled right. There's two advantages. You can copy and paste, and you should get used to this because this is how you control cloud servers. If you get an Amazon cloud server, Google cloud server, you control it with this interface. And now you can have a graphical interface on a Linux machine, but I don't recommend it. It never works very well. I just use headless cloud machines like this, where all you have is command line control for almost everything. The only thing is if you actually want to run a graphical tool on Linux, you can't do it unless you have a graphical desktop. I just don't find that any of those tools are worth the bother. They're just sort of buggy interfaces for command line tools, all the ones I use anyway. Anyway.
Burp Suite, I think, is a good
Oh, Burp.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Burp is a good command line, a good graphical tool, which you can run on Linux. I just run it on my host, but yeah, that's right. If you want to run Burp. Anyway, so this is your virtual machine. Now you have control of a Linux box, and you can have a Linux box on Windows. And so for this, what we're doing here, you're going to want two virtual machines. You're going to want one Windows and one Linux. And the Windows machine is pre-made, just a zip file, you unzip and run it, and the same thing with the Kali machine, and we'll have them both set up to where you can get them easily. So these are the main ones. This one here is a Windows machine that has a whole bunch of analysis tools we're going to use for malware analysis in a future day. The Linux Kali is just a naked Kali Linux distribution, and Kali is based on Debian. It's very similar. So you can pretty much, for most purposes, you can replace one with the other. And so that's the thing you're going to have to do is get your virtual machines going. The big downloads are going slowly in here, so Caitlin's setting up a local server so you can just copy them over to local network. And so she'll go around and show you how to get them from there. But make sure you have VMware installed first. And so I'm going to stop this recording and let it go on to you.
Yeah. So,
Or should we demonstrate how to reach the server? Maybe we should just do it on here. Okay, how do I get to the server?
Yeah, so you just go to http
Okay.
// 192
Mm-hmm.
168 8.11, and make sure you're on the InfoSec decoded.
Ah, there it is. Good. And so here we have, this is the pre-made Kali machine. You can just download it and unzip it or 7-zip, and we'll put the pre-made Windows machine on there too. So you can just get it from here.
It should be on there too,
Oh, it is there. Yeah, it is right. There's the Windows 11 for ARM and Windows 11 for Intel. That's right. So these are the machines. Notice these are pretty big. These are like 24 gigs. Kind of strange they're not the same size. But anyway, this is just the installer. So the only one you have here is the one with ARM, with tools. You don't have the Windows with tools for Intel. We'll find it and put it on there. I think it's on this thing. Anyway, we'll figure it out. But you can start with Kali.
If it's on there, give it to me. I'll put it on there.
Yeah, get your Kali machine here. And so give it a shot, and I'll go around and help people as needed. Yeah, you get there here, 192.168.8.11.
Yeah.
And I'll put that in my text file of instructions. So,
Are you on the InfoSec
yeah, you have to be on.
Wi-Fi?
You have to be on this Wi-Fi, InfoSec decoded. Yeah, let's see. All right. All right, so I'm going to stop the recording, and then we'll go around and help people as needed.